So I recently got a chance to sit down and watch the hit film Bird Box. Welcome to D's Rants and Reviews. I'm your host D. On today's episode, I'll be reviewing Bird Box, the hit film on Netflix that has gained a lot of popularity. Many on social media have been calling the film one of the best they've ever seen. I myself wasn't too impressed with the movie and suggested that those same people should watch more movies. Today I'll be going over my likes and dislikes of the hit film Bird Box. Bird Box stars Sandra Bullock as Mallory, a pregnant woman who is caught in the middle of a strange, unexplained worldwide epidemic that's causing people to kill themselves after seeing some type of hallucination. Mallory winds up in a house with a few other people who are also trying to survive the deadly epidemic. As means of survival, many of them adopt the use of blindfolds to avoid meeting the same fate as others. They are also under the threat of people who willingly witness the plague and become lunatics who are trying to force them to willingly witness what they see. The movie takes course over 5 years, and by the end, Mallory and 2 children are headed down a river on a raft while blindfolded in hopes of reaching safety. Bird Box is a good movie. Not a great movie, but a good movie. Has a few scary jumps, some decent performances by some of the actors, and a pretty interesting storyline. It's just not great in my opinion, and that stems from the fact that it's not all that original. I couldn't help but notice when watching it that I saw many similarities with movies like The Birds, The Village, and Cloverfield, and many story elements lifted from films like The Mist, The Happening, and a little nod to Godzilla 1985, believe it or not. So while I didn't think the movie was bad, I just don't get what everybody's so impressed about. I give the movie a B at the most. One thing I did enjoy about the film is Sandra Bullock's portrayal of Mallory. As the movie's not told in chronological order, we begin with the scene where she's explaining to the 2 kids the danger of the journey ahead and how it's paramount that they do what she says.
We are going on the trip now. It's going to be rough. It's going to feel like it's going on for a long time, so it's going to be hard to stay alert. It's going to be even harder to be quiet, but you have to do both. You have to do every single thing I say, or we will not make it. Understand? Under no circumstance are you allowed to take off your blindfold. If I find that you have, I will hurt you. Do you understand?
And my initial reaction to that scene was, damn, Sandra Bullock sounds like a black woman in this movie. So y'all gotta understand that the speech that she gave her kids there was pretty much the same speech that American black children hear from our mothers anytime we go anywhere with them. It takes us right back to childhood and those times when our mothers used to take us to the supermarket, and before we go in, they pull us aside and said, look, we're going in this supermarket and you're gonna act like you got some sense, because if you don't,
I will hurt you.
If you ask for anything,
I will hurt you.
If you break anything,
I will hurt you.
If you walk wrong,
I will hurt you.
So needless to say, the movie had me interested in what will make a white woman like Sandra Bullock talk to her kids in such a way. And as the movie progressed and we saw that she got it on with Tom, we realized what that answer was. He put it down on her so bad, she got the full black experience. I did like Tom's character as well, even though it was pretty obvious, him being the black guy in the movie, he was going to die. It was pretty much a foregone conclusion once you first saw him on screen that before the movie's credits were going to roll, he was going to meet his demise, but I still enjoyed his character. Now let's get to what I didn't like about Bird Box. I have 2 beefs with this movie, and my first beef happens to be my beef with most horror movies, and that's the sheer stupidity of some of the characters. Horror movies are never short on stupid characters. They're often necessary in order to move the plot along. It's just that sometimes they're so stupid you can't wait until they get killed on screen. And this movie had a few characters that caused me to stand and cheer once they met their demise on screen. First on the list is Jessica, Mallory's sister. Now, early on, she arrives at Mallory's house to find her painting, which I assume is Mallory's job. They turn on the TV and hear a news report about the worldwide epidemic that's going on, causing people to kill themselves. First suggestion that Jessica makes to Mallory is, hey, let's go do something. I'm like, didn't you just watch this shit that we just watched on TV? This worldwide epidemic causing people to kill themselves? I couldn't buy her nonchalant attitude towards this worldwide epidemic of death that's going on. Like, people are out in the streets dying, and she's thinking, you know, I'd really like to go for some coffee right now. Next on the idiot list is Olympia, the other pregnant chick who they mercifully let in the house, even though Douglas, played by John Malkovich, keeps trying to tell them that letting strangers in the house is a stupid and bad idea. And Douglas winds up looking like a genius once Olympia, without consulting anyone else, lets another stranger into the house who winds up killing damn near everybody in the house, including Olympia. This occurs after Olympia gives birth to her daughter, who, being a chip off her mother's block, also starts to display levels of extreme stupidity. And no moment of that extreme stupidity is more apparent than when the child, after hearing Mallory's long speech about the vital importance of staying on the boat for their safety, decides, hey, I should get off the boat. And while some may be appalled at the fact that I'm referring to a child as a stupid idiot, I remind you I'm talking about a fictional character. I'm not talking about the little girl that plays her. The little girl who plays her actually does a really good job acting-wise. It's just that the character is about as smart as a bag of rice. This brings me to my biggest rant about the movie. And while some of you may say this may be a stretch, hear me out on this. At the end of the movie, they get to safety once they arrive at the school. Finally being at ease, Mallory allows the kids to go off and play with the other kids. If you look closely, you'll see some kids tossing the ball in the background. This may seem like nothing until you recall how hard it was for Mallory and the kids to get to this safe location. They lost everything in the process, and by the time they get to the door, the only thing they possess are the clothes in their back and the birds. Now, granted, some people may say, yeah, but they have the birds. The birds are understandable. The birds serve a purpose because the birds alert them to the presence of whatever it is that's chasing them. I don't see a ball serving any other purpose than recreation. Now, if it was brought there by one of the escapees, that means that they carried that ball through that long, arduous journey. And I have a tough time believing that. But I have an easier time believing that than to believe the other scenario, which is the ball was already at the school. The reason that bothers me so much is very simple. It's a school for blind people. Who gives a ball to blind kids to play with? How are they going to play with it? The moment they toss the ball, they're going to spend the rest of their lives trying to find the ball again. That's not nice. That's actually very, very mean when you think about it. If someone's going to donate any gift to a school for blind people, give them something they can use. Donate like a box of sunglasses and harmonicas, something like that. Lastly, the movie is decent, but nothing I haven't seen before. And all those people who said that it is one of the greatest movies that they've ever seen in their lives, my suggestion again is to you, watch more movies. Until next time.
I will hurt you.